Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de so who can you actually celebrate with when one inevitably, hopefully, reaches new milestones in our fire journeys, right? For simplicity's sake, let's say, when you hit that $1 million mark, as an example. Hey, XenPuck here. So I've seen quite a bit of a pattern developing on today's topic at hand, and it is a bit of a damper on a good thing, right? The good thing being, of course, when we achieve things on our respective fire journeys. Right, for the vast majority of people, at least where I'm based in the good old US of A, I think, the example would be, let's say, hitting your millionaire status, right? But really, it could be any amount, right? If you're younger, it could be hitting your first 100K, or if you're like me and already retired, it could be as simple as hitting another six-figure mark, right? That simply makes me feel good, right? It's nice to hit new milestones, no matter how one quantifies it, right? And we are social animals as human beings, and I think we all feel the urge to celebrate milestones, even if they're arbitrary. So today's question is, that's worth me stewing on, is very simple, right? Who is appropriate to celebrate with, okay? Who are we obligated to inform, if anyone, right? Is it the world, or everyone we know, friends, family, partner, or possibly no one? Dun dun dun! I mean, oh, the drama. Can you guess what a cynic like me might say? Sorry, I amuse myself quite often, or so it seems. Anyway, if you're intrigued by what I might say, please subscribe, like, comment, share, all that social media, whatever, because I'm rich enough for me. I'll be great regardless. Okay, in the age that we're in, let's go broad first, right? Should we celebrate with the entire world, or at least the extent of our respective worlds, most commonly known as posting on social media? Whoa! Yeah, obviously, I think everyone will agree the answer to that question is a big fat no. No surprise here, I don't think. I mean, come on, does anyone who actually has money of any level really think it's a good idea to inform literally everyone they've ever met, of their good fortune? I'm pretty sure this is an easy majority opinion, because heck, even in the fire Facebook groups, right, hardly anyone who posts want to even use their real names, right? They want to post anonymously, because that's how afraid we are as a society of sharing our net worth in detail, like with anyone, right? We're talking about, this is in a group of internet strangers that at least has a common interest in fire, and we're still very, very cautious about anything related to money, right? I think that's generally reasonable. The reality is most people are mid at best, and we human beings are very prone to negative feelings like jealousy, right? So no reason to rub salt in the wound of normie, regular consumer spender types, right? That's most of the developed world, after all. Consumers make the markets turn, and we fire people reap the benefits. So they have their place, and I say, don't rub it in, or a witch hunt will come for the rest of us at some point. Next category, where the analysis, I think, gets, into the gray, right? What about friends and family? People will ask. Shouldn't we at least be honest with them? Once again, like, if I wanted to have the consensus judgment via Reddit or Facebook groups, I would say the majority opinion on this one still leans towards a no. I mean, I think we've all heard enough horror stories where one member of the family finally gets good with managing money, and somehow his or her closed one suddenly decides that they are now the piggy bank of the group. After all, if you've gotten to, let's say, a millionaire or whatever status, that means you're rich now, right? Shouldn't you then share the wealth? I mean, look, I absolutely abhor that type of thinking, especially towards people who actually made their money instead of inherited it, okay? People who became wealthy through work. No, they don't have to share with anyone they don't want to. If they did that, they wouldn't have gotten wealthy to begin with, right? While I'm absolutely for the idea of giving, right? Giving should be a choice, not an obligation, right? And certainly not an obligation towards someone else who hasn't earned it, right? So am I saying you shouldn't share your success with family or friends? Actually, no, I think you should, but just keep it vague in terms of numbers, and through this method, maybe you can suss out who actually wants to learn to replicate your success if they're happy for you, right? If you care about your friends and your family, then it's your responsibility to help them figure out money, right? Should be simple as that. And the final group, do I think that's it, since we, are not supposed to talk about it on social media or with the majority of our friends or family? Who's left? Okay, well, an easy one is your partner, right? I hope you can celebrate with your partner. Couples should absolutely be honest with each other, especially when it comes to money, or that relationship just won't last, okay? But I think there is another category that I forgot to add, so I'm gonna, group it with the partner, which is in this list of approved celebration partners. That's basically anyone that you have a good idea is in a similar financial situation as you, right? This last group, requires some detective work, but they're not impossible to find. I mean, hell, I realized that in my early retirement, I can actually talk about money stuff with like a couple of friends of mine who is basically also early retired, okay? Just remember the reason why most of us are worried of telling of our closed friends or family is an issue of jealousy, right? So, but if you're talking to someone else who's in the same boat as you, that fundamental negative feeling is a moot point. Of course, I get it, if you're chasing a fire right now, you're still in the accumulation phase, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes which one of your friend and family might be on that same mental wavelength, right? Hard, but not impossible. After all, I think frugal people can usually identify signs of frugality in other people, can't we? Like, just use or expand on that spidey sense of yours, and you're halfway of finding fellow fire friends to celebrate with, okay? And that's totally worth the trouble, I would say. So, in conclusion, I know working towards fire can be a long journey at times and sometimes feel a little bit lonely, right? That's why we have fire groups and fire meetups, right? The reality is that, of course, people who are good at managing money we are in the extreme minority, and that's okay, okay? After all, I do enjoy feeling special and smug a little bit, after all, okay? Don't you guys? Now, what I care more about is celebrating our own victories, right? Of course you should be proud when you hit a milestone because you did a thing that most people cannot achieve in a lifetime. Seriously, how many people do you know that's actually gotten to be a millionaire? Or even the other arbitrary standards that I said, how many people do you know that actually has a six-figure amount in their portfolios at all? Okay, so there's no shame in being better off than your peers. You just need to find which one of your peers are actually, worth your time to talk about with money, right? And I know it's possible because if a dummy like me can have some semblance of a community, so can anybody else, okay? Cheers. I'll approach it.